Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. I'm just taking a quick glance here at my calendars. I just can't believe we have like 1 month left. It's amazing how sort of trader time flies faster than regular time. I enjoy it. I love it. Just challenging year though, I think for all of us. And I hope it's not too challenging for you. And hopefully you learn something. And hopefully just investing your time in watching the channel has helped in some regard. But we did get a question in regarding such development in regards to trader psychology. It says, Mike, I heard that 90% of this whole game is really psychology as opposed to strategies. Can you address that? And can you tell us what you learned and helped improve your trading psychology? Even better, share some of the challenges, thank you, that you had to face in trading and how you overcame them. Wow. Okay. Well, overcame is a tough word. I don't think we've ever overcome. I'll never overcome. It's kind of like, what do they say? Poker, it takes 5 minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. I'm still trying to understand myself and the psychology of the game. But I think I've made tremendous improvements in this area, probably more in this area than I have in actual trading. Let me get to your answer, and I may even have to tap the shoulder of a trader psychologist to help me out. All right, so let's get right to it. I feel that the psychology element is something I focused a lot of time on the past, say, 3 years, and it's really helped me a lot. And I'll go through the nuts and bolts of what I went to. First, I do want to tell you, though, that, when I first started out, this was not easy. I struggled like every trader. I quit trading 3 times, 3 times. All right, I left, went back to my job. I said I could do this again, tried it again. I kind of had it, but it just wasn't paying the bills. So I went back to my job. And then the third time, I said, okay, I kind of want the best of both worlds. I think I can do this now. But I felt I wanted that sort of secure income. So my company, and gracious to them, they hired me as a consultant. So I kind of left my job on a Friday and I started as a consultant on Monday, but it wasn't a full-time thing. So whenever they needed help, they would reach out to me, particularly in risk management or project management, things like that. But it was really cool because now I got my sort of core work was my trading. And even then, I didn't struggle, but it was tough really making the income that I wanted to, mostly for capital reasons. But to get back to the question is, what did I do from a psychology level to help me out? And first, rather than me answer that, I want to use this clip from Jared Tendler, one of our popular guests that we have on the podcast. Talk about 90% focus on psychology. I don't know. I think Jared has something different to say about that. Let's take a look.
If you are going to work on your psychology, examine how you've performed in other environments, like, if you were in sports or in school, in other jobs, right? If you've experienced like major performance anxiety, or, you get really angry when things are unfair, or you hate losing, those problems are probably going to come out in trading. So you can kind of start to get ahead of them by beginning to work on those problems that maybe weren't punished because, all right, well, you played baseball and, so you hate losing. Who cares? The game's over. Like, there's no harm, but here, right, once you lose a trade and you're going to want to fire up another baseball game in theory, right? Like, you can do that. It can cause a lot of trouble. So, yeah, I think number one, like, spend like 80 to 90% on the method and the strategy and the technique and just understanding the basic parameters of how to trade profitably. And then spend 10, 20% of your time examining any, kind of past problems that you've experienced and develop some corrections to them so you can begin to kind of get ahead of those problems because they will come for sure. Trading exposes every weakness that you have. And if you're not aware of those weaknesses, then that's actually the biggest weakness.
So there you go. There goes your 90%, sort of question that everyone gets is trader psychology, 90%. There's other core elements that go into this, and we'll talk about confidence in a second, but it's really about writing it down, exposing, identifying what the issues are at hand. Trader psychology isn't just sort of like a little box. It could be discipline, it could be patience, right? I work with a lot of traders who have sort of compulsive mindsets and challenges. Really, really difficult from a coaching perspective. Quite honestly, I need to do more in that area of work for trader psychology. But when it comes to my own personal trading, remember, I went back to work 3 times. So this just didn't come, like a gift box in the sense where I was just making profits from day one. I had to write it down, identify it, and say, okay, what are the actions I'm going to take? Okay, and one of those areas of development that was right off the bat was my confidence. Even when I was becoming profitable, I just didn't seem to have the confidence. I was like, here are the demons, here they come, or I've had a nice win streak. It's okay. The market's going to give it back. One of my first coaches would observe me and he would say, you notice something when you have a trade that's going in the wrong direction. As a scalper, I've been in that trades like in 5 minutes. So he would look and say, like, I would huff and puff, go, ugh, here we go. Like, it's almost like the market's out to get me. He says, stop that. Like, use the math to your advantage. And if you have a strategy with edge, just let them play out. So he identified that there was a lack of confidence. So I brought that to the next table, did my mental hand histories, really got my hands dirty, and it helped me a lot. So in regards to confidence and psychology, let's see what Jared has to say here.
Confidence is, I think, a very wildly kind of misunderstood thing in general. And people tend to feel like they have to have it in order to be successful. And the reality is you need skill. And if we're talking about trading, you need a lot of skill in trading, proven over a large sample that your edge actually is profitable and wildly profitable in what you're after. But the reality is that I've worked with 30-year veterans who objectively are less confident than traders that have been trading for 18 months. It's like, well, how the hell can that happen, right? And it's because confidence is really just an emotion, right? We care far more about the skill that you have than the feeling that you have about that skill. That's a very key differentiator because people feel like if they don't have the skill, well, then I'm going to go after the feeling. And I'm going to feel like I'm going to be confident. I'm going to have this aspirational, inspirational kind of mode towards me, and it can generate a lot of confidence. But if you suck, you suck.
I love it. I could watch this 100 times. All right. Here is a professional saying, hey, trading psychology is important, but you can't suck at this, right? You got to do the core elements of finding edge, strategy, and execution to be able to overcome this and become successful as a trader. So I really appreciate that. I always save that clip to remind me that, hey, confidence sometimes can come from having a winning strategy. You don't have to sort of build it within or go deep into your childhood and start talking about these stories that I know, my trading coach had me do. Very helpful, but at the end of the day, it's about executing a winning strategy. So back to the original question, how did I handle it? Well, in the beginning, it was sort of like a 50-50. Like I had trader psychology, but I was really kind of focused on strategy. And my coach kind of helped me in that regard. Then about 3 or 4 years in my career when I was starting to be profitable, I was like, well, screw the psychology. I got all that stuff. Just I want more strategies. I want more edge, and I'm just going for it. I go to traders expos, and I was just like all focused on coming back with more strategies. Probably wasn't the best decision. And as I developed and smoothed my equity curve and became more consistent, like Jared mentioned, I've really started to focus more and more on me, the psychology of me, making me a better person, making me a better trader, and also focusing on peak performance. I'm studying the greats, whether it's in sports, entertainment, and I even had a peak performance coach help me with this to really focus on the tactical processes of champions. And it's really helped me out. My results have improved dramatically. Is there a connection? There's always that tough, connection between does the psychology training help you with the results? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence for the past 3 years, but clearly, it's helped me out. So I'm just going to continue to go with it and focus on me. So I had that original, yeah, okay, my coach told me to do it. Then I went to that, screw the psychobabble, just give me the setup. And now it's pretty much all about psychology. What's going to kill me as a trader is not the markets. What's going to kill me is me. And I need to be sure I'm focused, laser focused every day to make sure I'm prepared to accept the fact that randomness is going to occur. I'm going to do things right and end up being a losing trade. I need to accept the fact that markets will be random. Sometimes I'll make all the right decisions, end up short end of the stick, and other times I'll screw up and be profitable, right? But in the end, it's that positive edge, that positive alpha that's going to make it win for me. And the only thing that's going to kill me is me. All right, so I want to leave you with 2 ideas that hopefully will help you. It helped me a lot and really, transformed my trading career and made sure I never went back to my old job. and also help some of the students that I coach here as well. All right, so the first takeaway I wanted you to think about, and you can probably see in my shot over here, I have another chair and another computer screen. Some people ask this, what do you have, a staff over there? What's going on? No, in risk management, they call it separation and segregation. It's about having your work separated and focused. So I have a whole desk area just for my trading, and everything else, my emails, my correspondence, even trading related, I do over here. Now, it doesn't always work, primarily because I'm lazy sometimes. All right, I admit that. But I got a chair that has nice wheels. I slide over, I can go that, but it just doesn't sometimes work. But it does separate and allows me to focus on the business at hand, particularly during live trading hours. And next, probably the most important decision I made in regards to my trader psychology journey. I got most of the toxicity out of my life. I wanted to live a life more of abundance than scarcity. And again, abundance isn't about wealth, it's about having this aura around your life of positivity. I surrounded myself with positive people, and sometimes I'll get a text in the morning say, Mike, just want to say, have a great day. This is from like China. All right. Phenomenal. Love it. I want more of those people in my life. All right. I hope you got a few takeaways out of this. And again, everyone's trading journey is different, but I hope I hit a nerve on a few of them. And that's really my goal with all of these videos. And as you see from the calendar, the new year is right around the corner. So start thinking about your development plan and some of the things that you want to place on there to help you progress as a trader. Every year, there was always a trader psychology component to my development plan. And if you need a little help constructing your development plan, click on the link below, give you all the information on how to do it, how to set your goals, the actions, and the things you're going to take to make you a better trader. So right before we ended, I was looking at my wrap-up notes, make sure I got everything covered, and I was looking at my coffee mug. Now, I've had this for about 3 years, and there's a guy walking with a set of golf clubs, and it says, life is good. And at the back, it says, do what you like what you do. I'll end it there. Have a great week.